Dear students, today I am going to discuss the next subtopic under chemical bonding and molecular structure. I am Dr. R. Gunasekharan, Professor of Chemistry, is taking class for you. Today I am going to discuss under the covalent bond hybridization and molecular orbital theory. There are different theories are proposed for the covalent bond, and we have discussed the octet theory, Sedgwick-Bowl theory, valence electron pair repulsion theory, valence bond theory. Now, hybridization concept and molecular orbital theory today we will discuss. These two are most important in chemistry point of view, especially the inorganic chemistry. What is hybridization? In order to explain equal divalence of beryllium, tri-equal trivalency of boron, and equal tetravalency of carbon, hybridization concept was introduced. So what is the necessity we are introducing hybridization concept? Again, Pauling only introduced this hybridization. First, let me take beryllium. Kindly follow. What is the electronic configuration of beryllium? It is the second group. So, lithium, beryllium. So, it is 2s2. So, 2 electron is there. 1 electron here, 1 electron here. Suppose if one beryllium atom combines with 2 chlorine, that is beryllium plus 2 chlorine, let me combine to produce beryllium dichloride. This is the compound formed. So how can we explain in terms of electronic configuration? We know chlorine, it is 3s2 3p5 with the electronic configuration. So 1 electron for chlorine I will write here. So out of 7, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. The same way in this case 1 electron here of chlorine, remaining 2 electron here, 2 electron here, 2 electron here. So just see here, if you just put around chlorine 8 electrons, here also 8 electrons around chlorine. But the central atom, if you close around it, only 4 electrons. It is less than octet, deviation from octet theory. So, beryllium dichloride is not obeying the octet theory. But here we will come for the equal divalence of beryllium. What is the meaning of equal divalency? There are two valent one. The beryllium is connected to covalent bond. So, but these two the covalent bond is not equal. It's not equal. How we can prove this? Kindly follow. In the beryllium, I can write the electronic configuration as, kindly follow, the 2s2, I will write like this. 2s2, 2p3. This is the ground state. Kindly follow. Beryllium, but as such now this is the ground state. When the excited state, what will happen? One of these electron getting excited moving to the next higher empty orbital. Now kindly follow, this is 2s, this is 2p, 2p, 2s. So what will happen now? In the case of beryllium, there is the 2s orbital having 1 electron and 2p orbital having 1 electron. So this is beryllium. Kindly follow. Coming over here, in the case of chlorine, the 3s to 3p5, 7 atom in the valence shell. So 7 means I can take now the 3s2 3p5. that is 7. This is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So only one chlorine atom is having one single electron, and only unpaired electron is responsible for bond formation, especially covalent bond formation here. So one chlorine atom has one unpaired electron, another chlorine atom is another unpaired electron. So what is happening now? See, in beryllium there is one s orbital, one p orbital, whereas in chlorine there is two p orbitals. Kindly follow. So now what we can say, what is the overlapping between beryllium and chlorine? S orbital of beryllium overlap with p orbital of beryllium. So this is one bond, sigma. Another is p orbital of beryllium, another p orbital of again chlorine. So this is another bond. Kindly follow. Based on the hybridization, hybrid orbital, this is sp hybridization, this is pp hybridization, both sigma bond, but they are not equal in strength. That's why we are calling it as equivalent divalency is not present in the beryllium. If you consider valent bond theory, valent bond orbital theory, the two bonds that is present in beryllium, they are not equal. But the experimental proof shows that they are equal. So, Pauling wants to prove that both bonds are equal. The same way, I can go for the equal trivalence of boron. Boron have 3 bonds. The same way, the Pauling wants to prove all the 3 bonds of boron-chlorine bonds are equivalent. And the same way, tetravalence of carbon again equivalent. It has to, Pauling wants to prove that. So in order to prove that, a new concept, that is hybridization concept, was introduced. Kindly follow. So if you want to know one more, so let me take carbon for example. 2s2, 2p2. 2s2, 2p2. So 2s2, 2p2. This is the carbon ground state. Kindly follow. Ground state. Excited state, what will happen now? So 1, here again 1, 1, 1. So in carbon, 1 s orbital, 3 p orbital. But when it combines with hydrogen, all are, kindly follow, s orbital. So overlapping now, here it is between SS overlapping sigma, SP overlapping also sigma. But these 3 sigma different from SS orbital. SP overlapping is different from SS overlapping. That is in energy point of view, in the shape point of view, everything. So this is the fact explained by valent bond orbital theory. So in order to overcome that, the hybridization concept was introduced. Let me explain now. What is hybridization? Hybridization is a phenomenon in which different atomic orbitals having different energy belonging to the outermost energy level, valence shell, of a central atom undergo combination to produce orbitals of equivalent energy. Very, very important. Please follow, my dear students. Hybridization is the phenomena in which different atomic orbitals having different energy belonging to the outermost energy level of a central atom undergo combination to produce orbitals of equivalent energy. So before overlapping, kindly follow, the orbitals of central atom, before overlapping with orbitals of other atom to form covalent bond, they themselves combine to form new hybrid orbital. The new orbital that formed are called hybrid orbital. Kindly follow. Hybrid orbitals. I hope you understand now. So let me say simple example. In the case of carbon, there is 1 s orbital, 3 p orbitals. 1 s orbital, 3p orbital. So 1s plus 3p combines 4, and after this undergoing combination to produce 4 sp3 orbitals. 4 sp3 orbitals of equal energy and shape. What will be the shape? Kindly follow. I can now draw the shape of sp3. This is sp3. This is sp3. This is sp3. And this is sp3. Kindly follow now. This is the carbon. So now what we can explain now? There are 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals. Now each hydrogen with 1 electron will undergo overlapping with the carbon. So now they are all equivalent because the 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals are equivalent size, shape and energy. Now all the bonds are equal. Now hybridization concept is able to explain the equal tetravalency of carbon in the case of methane. So let me continue. Right. Rules for hybridization. How we have to follow the hybridization. So there are rules. 1. Only orbitals of more or less same energy from the valence shell of same atom or ion can hybridize. That means in a molecule, the central atom only in the same orbit, same valence shell, orbitals in the same valence shell undergo combinations. Form valence shell of same atom can ion undergo hybridization. Kindly follow. Suppose in 2, s and p orbital is there. 2s, 2p will undergo hybridization. In 3, if you go 3s, 3p, 3d. So they will undergo hybridization. That is the outermost. Number 2. The total number of hybrid orbital produced is equal to the same number of atomic orbital undergoing combination. How can you understand this? So you take carbon 1s, take the p orbital 3p, 1s orbital, this is in carbon. In the hydrogen there are again 4 orbitals, s, s3, kindly follow. So 4 plus 4, that is the 3, 4 plus 4 actually 8. Kindly follow. Now what will happen now? Central atom, we are considering only the central atom. So before overlapping with the s orbital, that is with the s orbital of hydrogen only, it is forming the covalent bond. So hybridization takes place between the s orbital and p orbitals of carbon because they are 2s and 2p. So 1s, kindly follow, 1s plus 3p undergoes, so simply I will add 1 plus 3, 4. So this is 1s1, 3 means 3p3. So that I will add as sp3, 4 sp3. So this is the way we have to add and say the hybridization. That's why I already told you, in the case of methane, sp3 hybridization is formed. Generally, the hybrid orbital have same size, same shape and same energy. That's why they are equivalent. Okay, next. From the type of hybridization, one can predict the geometry, shape and bond angles of a molecule. The two information we can get it. One is geometry, shape we can predict it, linear, triangular, planar, pyramidal, V shape, whatever it is, shape. And also the angle, bond angle of a molecule can be predicted by hybridization. Each hybrid orbital is stronger than both pure and s orbital. For example, sp, sp2, sp3, like this, the orbital can form. sp3 can form orbitals. Kindly follow. So here sp means 1s, 1p, sp2, 1s, 2p, sp3, 1s, 3p. So what is happening now? In all the cases, each hybrid orbital is stronger than both pure s and pure p orbital from which it originates. This is the most important information. Now I am comparing the relative strength. This is not available in your book. This is available in the JD Lee. Normally we are following for BS and MSc level. This is just for comparison. Students, please follow. S orbital relative strength 1. P orbital relative strength 1.73. Let us assume. SP, it is stronger than these two, 1.93. SP2, 1.99. SP3, 2. So that means hybrid orbitals are stronger than pure S and P orbitals. Kindly follow SP, how it is forming 1S and 1P combined to give SP, that is 2SP. This is the shape of SP. This is SP, this is SP. Kindly follow. This is the shape of SP orbital. Bond angle is 180. 180. Go for SP2. Kindly follow. In this case, 1s plus 2p undergoes combination to produce 1s, 1 plus 2, 3, then 3sp2. This is 3p, 2p. So 1s, 3sp2, the shape will be, this is the shape. Kindly follow. So sp2, sp2, sp2. That means it is triangular planar, bond angle is 120. Bond angle is 120. The same way, you go for 1s plus 3p to produce 1 plus 3, 4sp3 hybridization. The shape is, actual shape is, this is S, this is P, 1s, 3p. The shape is now, this is the tetrahedron. So sp3, 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 sp3. This is again carbon. If we take methane, this is the carbon. So when carbon combines with 4 hydrogen, 4 hydrogen means s orbital, so they will overlap with 4 electrons of carbon to form 4 sigma bond, equivalent sigma bond. I hope very clear I have explained. Now, continuations. What about the d orbital? But the d orbital also involved in hybridization. Let me see now. There are doubts as to whether d orbital can take part or not in hybridization. Several factors affect the size of the orbital. The most important is the charge on the atom is the most important. If the atom carries a formal positive charge, then all the electrons will be pulled towards the nucleus, and the effect is greatest for outer electrons. Greatest for outer electrons. Thus, orbitals contract. Orbitals contract. When orbitals contract, what will happen? When 3D orbital contracts its size very much than the 3s and 3p, then energies of 3s, 3p and 3d orbitals may become close enough to allow and to undergo hybridization to occur as in PCl5. As in PCl5. But since hydrogen does not cause this large contraction, pH5 does not exist. Question may be asked, why PCl5 exists? Why pH5 does not exist? Because only in the case of chlorine, this is possible. In the case of hydrogen, this is not possible. So because this contraction is not possible. Now let me explain now how the phosphorus, let me take now, what is the phosphorus? Nitrogen family. Next to phosphorus, so that is 2 nitrogen, this is 3 phosphorus. 3, let me write now, 3s2, This is phosphorus. 3s, 3p, and 3d. And 3d, kindly follow, 5. So this is phosphorus, 3 electrons, just like this is the way ground state. In the excited state, what will happen now? These electrons excited going to the d orbital. Kindly follow now. So what is happening? This is 3s, this is 3p, this is 3d. So all the 3s unpaired electron, 3p unpaired electron, 3d one unpaired electron. Kindly follow now. So what I am going to combine now in the case of phosphorus, there is one s orbital, then 3 p orbitals, 3p, and plus 1 d orbital, 1 d. So 1, this is 3. Kindly follow now. So if I add now 1 plus 3, 4, 1, 4, 5 actually, that is hybridization sp3d. Kindly see d1, p3, 4, 5. So since it is in the 5th level though, I can now say hybridization is sp3d. So d also involved in the hybridization. That's why, so when it is forming this, what is happening now? The phosphorus taking the 1s of central phosphorus atom, 3 p orbitals of central phosphorus atom, and the d, that is 3d orbital of central phosphorus atom undergo combination to produce 5 sp3d orbital. What is that shape? It is called the triangular bipyramidal. Kindly follow. You can imagine now, center is phosphorus. So chlorine, 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 chlorine. So I can say here, orbital now, how many orbital totally? 5 orbital. They are equal size and shape. How can now write? Kindly follow now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they are all equal. Kindly follow. There are 5 orbitals. This is sp3d. In the case of each one is, we'll call it as sp3d. sp3d. Each one sp3d means there are 5 sp3d orbital, each one having an electron now. One electron, one electron, one electron. Now it is going to overlap with the 1 electron of p orbital of chlorine in all the cases. Chlorine, like this. Chlorine, chlorine, chlorine. It is undergoing chlorine. So sigma, 5 sigma it is formed. So equivalent or the valency, pentavalency equivalent. This is called the shape. Now we can say it is 120 and 90. In this case, phosphorus pentachloride. Kindly follow the next. So now I have written in a simplest, very small size. So I want to now show you in large size so you can easily understand. The shape of these orbital you have to memorize. If one s and one p combines, how it will undergo hybridization to produce, this is the shape of 2 sp orbital. This is 1 sp, this is another sp, 2 sp. Same size, same energy, same shape. Then bond angle is 180. Kindly follow. This is sp. So for this example is beryllium dichloride is an example I have already given. Just see the ground state, the 2s2, the excited state, 1 electron is getting 2p. So 1s, 1p undergo combination to produce sp, 2 sp orbitals. Then two chlorine atom undergo bonding, so we are getting that the bond formation. So this is the central beryllium sp orbital. This is chlorine p orbital. So producing 180 degree. Shape is linear. Bond angle is 180. In the case of sp, please follow, my dear students. In all sp, linear bond angle 180. Whatever may be the molecule. The next, let me come for sp2. How? I have already pointed out 1s plus 2p combines. How we have to follow? You just follow this technique. I am writing 2p2. So 1 plus 2, I am writing 3. S1 means I am writing S as such. P2 means I am writing P2. So 3p2. So 3p2, this is, the shape is this one. Triangular planar. That is, angle is 120. Kindly follow. Triangular planar, angle is 120. So now see the corresponding the orbitals. Boron, 2s2tp1. Example, boron trichloride, sp2. This is sp2 hybridization. So in the excited state, one electron is getting excited going to the 2p. Now what will happen? 1s, 2p undergo combination to produce 3sp2. You must know the shape of sp2. Kindly follow. This is the central sp2. Kindly follow. This is the central sp2. sp2, sp2, sp2. Central sp2 shape. Equivalent size. Now the three chlorine atom having unpaired electron is forming sigma bond. Sigma, sigma, sigma. Now come for the bond angle is 120. It is triangular in shape. Triangular in shape. sp2. Okay, next. sp3. Here kindly follow 1s plus 3p. As usual, you have to write 1s, 3p, p3. Add now 1 plus 3, 4. The s, p3. 4sp3. So this is the shape of sp3. It may be for carve any the central atom. Equal size sp3, 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 sp3. 4sp3. Now let me take example carbon tetrachloride or methane to explain this. So carbon tetrachloride I am taking here. Carbon 2s2p2. This is the ground state. In the excited state, one of the paired getting unpaired, moving to the next higher empty orbital. So now 1s and 3p undergo combination to form 4sp3 hybrid orbitals. The yellow color indicates the electron coming from the chlorine atom. So now see the hybrid orbitals of the sp3. So this is the tetrahedron. Kindly follow the tetrahedron sp3, 4 tetrahedron, tetrahedron, tetrahedron. The bond angle is 109.28 is the bond angle. Any hybridization, sp3 hybridization, bond angle is 109.2. Shape is tetrahedron. Let me go for the next one, sp3d hybridization. We have seen under the phosphorus pentachloride. So 1s plus 3p plus 1d, I already told you 1s plus 3p, p3 plus the 3d means actually 3p, this is 1d, that is d1. So 1 plus 3, 3 plus 1, 5. So sp3d. 5 sp3d orbitals are formed. So this is just imagine this is a triangle. A triangular, imagine. This is we will simply say this is called the trigonal bipyramidal. trigonal bipyramid, phosphorus pentachloride. The angles are 121, another is 90. So let us go for that. This is the phosphorus pentachloride is the specific example I have already explained. So I need not waste time there. Now you see the original shape of the sp3d. So now 5 equal orbitals, hybrid orbitals. The bond angle one is 90, another is 120. Between triangular 120. Between the orbital of one orbital high, the bipyramid orbital, center orbital and the side orbital, the bond angle is 90. So this is triangular that is triangular biplanar. The bond angle is 90 and 120. PCl5. Let me go for the next. sp3d2. This is called octahedra. So 1s plus 3p plus 2d2. So 1 plus 3 plus 2, kindly count now, 6. Then sp3d2. 6 sp3d2. This is the shape of, the shape is octahedral shape. So how we can imagine octahedral? Better it's a rectangle. Then you put here, then one orbital, one orbital, one orbital, one orbital. This is called octahedral. So it is the tetrahedral, that is the octahedral. This is the octahedral. This is the 6 sp3d2, equal in energy. So example, if you want to say sulfur hexafluoride is the specific example. Please note, my dear student. So in the sulfur, it is the oxygen family, S2P4. This is 3s2 3p4. So one of the atom getting excited. So now it is the F6 it is given. So that's a 6 unpaired electron we need. So all the 2 paired electrons getting unpaired in the excited state. So 6 unpaired electrons. Now 6 electron is coming from the 6 fluorine atom to form the, so now what will happen now? One of the sp3d2 hybrid orbital of sulfur overlap with one of the p orbital of fluorine to form 1 sigma. So like that 6 bonds are formed. So the shape now you can see here, this is the shape. So all here kindly follow, the bond angle is everything is 90, only 90. All are only 90 angle. The shape is this is a tetrahedral. Kindly follow. Next one. So now, so far what I have discussed is the hybridization concept. So from this what we have learned, we got idea. If you know the hybridizations, we can predict the shape of the molecule. We can predict the bond angle present in the molecule. Very, very, very important. Okay. Next, let me go for molecular orbital theory. This is another important theory coming under the covalent bond. Specifically, this is suitable for diatomic molecules. Diatomic molecule. Polyatomic molecule, the theory fails. Molecular orbitals are formed by the combination of atomic orbitals of the bonded atoms. All the atomic orbitals in the outer shell or valence shell will combine to form molecular orbitals. Please follow. How molecular orbitals are formed? By combination of atomic orbitals of the bonded atoms. All the atomic orbitals in the outer shell or valence shell will combine to form molecular orbital. Now, the total number of molecular orbitals is equal to total number of atomic orbitals which undergo combination. How many total number of molecular orbitals we have? So that is equal to total number of atomic orbital undergo combination. The molecular orbitals are of two types, namely bonding molecular orbital, another is antibonding molecular orbital. What is the meaning of bonding and antibonding? Electrons present in the bonding molecular orbital will induce bond formation. Electron present in the antibonding molecular orbital will oppose the bond formation, will prevent to form the bond formation. Kindly follow. Now, the electrons in a molecular orbital are influenced by two or more nuclei depending on the number of atoms contained in the molecule. Thus, molecular orbitals are polycentric. Atomic orbitals are unicentric. Bonding molecular orbitals of lower in energy when compared to atomic orbitals. Bonding molecular orbitals are of lower in energy, please follow, when compared to atomic orbital. Whereas antibonding molecular orbitals are higher in energy than the corresponding atomic orbitals. Okay, next. The bonding and antibonding molecular orbitals are arranged in the varying energy level, as in the case of atomic orbitals. As in the case of atomic orbital, molecular orbitals can contain maximum number of 2 electrons. So where it is a molecular orbital, it is also contain a maximum of 2 electrons each. And the 2 electrons with the opposite spin, as usual in the case of atomic orbitals. When the electrons are filled, it will follow the same rules as in the case of atomic orbital. As in the case of atomic orbitals. Now let me go further. A. The molecular orbitals are filled in the increasing order of their energy. Low energy filled first, next, like that. Thus, the molecular orbital having lowest energy will be filled first, and then highest energy will be filled up last. The maximum number of electrons that can accommodate in a molecular orbital is 2. We have discussed already. If there are 2 molecular orbitals having same energy, kindly follow. If that is in the case of p orbital, we have in the atomic orbital px, py, pz more or less same energy. D orbital again the dxy, dy is the d is that x. D square minus y square, d z square, they are equal in energy. Same way, if there are 2 molecular orbitals having same energy, the electrons will first enter singly and then pairing will start as in the case of atomic orbital. Polyescalation principle. Kindly follow. So, the most important in molecular orbital theory is bond order. That is the total number of bonds present between the 2 atoms in a diatomic molecules. 2 atoms in a diatomic molecules. That is called bond order. That is equal to half into total number of electrons occupied in bonding molecular orbital minus total number of electrons occupied in the antibonding molecular orbitals. Dear students, please wait. I will draw the diagram what is bonding, what is antibonding orbital. Then you will not have any confusion at all. But temporarily you must know now what is bond order. Total number of electrons present in the bonding molecular orbitals minus total number of electrons present in the antibonding will give the information regarding the bond order that divided by 2, that is the half of that one. Okay, next. Higher the bond order, higher will be the bond strength, lower will be the bond length. Please note this is very, very important. Higher the bond order, higher will be the bond strength and lower will be the bond length and vice versa. Simple example, you take in the case of organic compound like ethane, ethylene and acetylene. Ethane, ethylene and acetylene. Example you take now. So this is the bond length in the picometer. This is the binding energy kilojoule per mole. So CC bond length 154, binding energy 348. That is for ethane. Coming for ethylene, C double bond C, 134 bond length decreases because the double bond. Then energy increases. Triple bond, still bond length decreases 120, but binding energy increases. Kindly follow. So higher the bond order, higher will be the bond strength. Higher will be the bond strength and lower will be the bond length. Kindly follow. Lower will be the bond length. You can understand this. Now in this case, now I am taking an example of, kindly follow, the molecular orbital of the lithium I am taking. Kindly follow. I am taking molecular orbital of lithium. Whether lithium 2 is possible or not, we want to determine. That is the main aim of the molecular orbital theory. Whether a particular diatomic species is possible or not, existing or not, we can determine from the molecular orbital theory. If bond order is greater than 0, it exists. It is 0, it does not exist. Suppose you take for the lithium, as usual, even though I have shown even the 1s orbital, better you take only outermost 2s orbital. Because only valency orbital you have to consider, as in the case of the hybridization. 2s I will take. So lithium means 2s1. So 1 electron here. So this is atomic orbitals. Kindly follow. Atomic orbital S. Here atomic orbital S. So this forming the molecular orbital. So this is the molecular orbital. Center is molecular orbital. So how it is forming? 1s and 2s, they combine to produce two orbital, molecular orbital. One is bonding molecular orbital, another is anti-bonding molecular orbital. Kindly follow. So in this case, what is the bond order? Bond order equal to half into total number of electron in bonding 2 minus 0, that is 1. So bond order is 1. So lithium molecule is existing. So molecular orbital theory proves that there is the lithium molecule is present. This may be wonder for you to hear. Next, let me go for the boron formation of B2. Is it possible or not? Kindly follow me. This is the most important here because there only s orbital involved. Here p orbital is also involved. So let me take only 2s and 2p alone I will consider. 2s and 2p alone consider. So in this case boron atom, in this case boron atom, in this case boron molecule, B2 molecule. Kindly follow. So what will happen now? Boron is 2s2, 2p1. So kindly follow the 2s, 2 electrons, here 2 electrons, bonding orbital, so total is 4 electrons, bonding 2, anti-bonding 2, the net effect is 0. So what we have to think of? So remaining only one orbital here, that is a px orbital, 1 electron here, p1, 1 electron here, px. And again there is another 1 electron here, x1. So 1 plus 1 becoming, there are 3p orbital, kindly follow, 3p orbital plus 3p orbital becoming 6 molecular orbital. Total number of molecular orbital equal to total number of atomic orbitals. So in this case, only p orbital I am considering. So the 3p, totally 6p orbital. So totally 6 molecular orbitals are forming, 3 bonding molecular orbital, 3 anti-bonding molecular orbital. So what I am writing here, so on the bonding, anti-bonding, I am writing in the form of the 2 pi for 2 pi x, that is I can simply y, here 2 pi z, here pi 2 px. Kindly follow. The same way here 2 px. So now what will happen? One electron means it will occupy here, see these two orbital of same equal energy. So one orbital occupied here, one orbital is occupied here. So only 2 electrons. What is the bond order now? Bond order in the case of B2 equal to, that is to half into 2 minus 0. That means 1. So bond order is 1. B2 is possible. My dear student, here the most important, another important thing is how many unpaired electrons is present. There are 2 unpaired electrons, brother. They are paramagnetic. Unpaired electron is present, paramagnetic. 2 unpaired electron is present. Kindly follow in the case of. So, my dear students, one I want to give for you to give informations. In the case of boron and nitrogen, when you are predicting the orbital, molecular orbitals, you write like this. Kindly follow. What way you have to write? Kindly follow. You write like this. This is the way you have to write. Kindly follow now. So this is pi 2p y, pi 2p z. The same way here, pi 2p x. This is giving sigma, this is pi. So here I am giving sigma 2px. The same way here, sigma star 2px, pi star 2py, pi star 2pz. So star indicating antibonding. They simply are using pi and sigma indicating bonding. So here 1 electron, here 1 electron. So totally 2 electrons from the 2 boron atom. So in the molecular orbital only 2 electrons, so 2 unpaired electrons. So please follow, my dear student. In the case of boron and nitrogen, follow this pattern. This pattern. That means pi orbital should be written below and the sigma orbital is written at the top. Please follow. Most important. Whereas, if you go for boron nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, so in this case, the reverse will be the truth. That means how can I write now? I have to write like this. Kindly follow. So this is the way I have to write. Kindly follow now. I have to follow now. This is the way I have to follow. So sigma below, pi above in the case of oxygen and fluorine. So that very easily you can break. This you have to memorize. Please follow. In the case of boron and nitrogen, in Tamil word there is ak. That means pi below, sigma above. Ak. The reverse in the case of oxygen and halogen atom. So let me go for the next case, the carbon. So that is boron and carbon, again identical. So let me go for the nitrogen, boron, carbon and nitrogen. So they are following the same method. Boron, kindly follow. Boron, carbon and nitrogen, they follow the same method. That is below pi orbital, above sigma. Whereas in the case of oxygen, kindly follow. See here. I am taking here. So what is the electronic configuration of oxygen? 2s2, 2p4. So I am considering 2s2 completely filled. So 2s2, 2s2 cancel each other. So I need not consider. Only 2p4 I can give weightage. So p3 orbitals, 3 plus 3, 6 orbitals. So 3p orbitals bonding below, 3p orbital bonding above. Kindly follow. Bonding molecular orbital lower than atomic orbitals. Anti-bonding molecular orbitals is higher energy than atomic orbitals. So how I have to fill up now? Totally 4 electron is there. 4 plus 4, 8 electron totally. In the case of, so for oxygen, I will write here because this is very small. You cannot see I am writing here. So below sigma, above pi, then pi, this is sigma. So this is for pattern for oxygen and fluorine. So let me take oxygen. 4 means 4 plus 4, 8 electron. First let me take 1 electron. This is the molecular orbital I am writing. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kindly follow the total number of unpaired electron 2 as usual in the case of oxygen. What is the bond order? That is bond order is equal to half into, that is total number of the bonding electron is 6 electrons. 6 minus 2, that is 4 by 2, 2 bond. That's why oxygen having double bond. Oxygen having double bond. Kindly follow. So 2 unpaired electron is present. Paramagnetic. Paramagnetic. Very, very, very important. Kindly follow, my dear. Here I will give some more information. Normally question will be asked. What way? They will give the examination O2, O2 plus, O2 minus, O2 2 minus. So this way they will give which is more stable, which is bond order is high, in which molecule having higher bond order, higher bond length, higher bond strength, like this question will be asked. So if you know only the corresponding oxygen alone, you predict other thing. Kindly follow oxygen. I will write again, once again. Kindly follow. This is the oxygen. So how? Pad. This is again pad. So now I can write for O2. Kindly follow. I am writing unpaired electron and a magnetic character. Magnetic character. Unpaired electron. In oxygen, O2, 2 unpaired electron, paramagnetic. O2 plus means one atom neutral, another atom minus means, that is the plus means. So instead of 4 electron, it is only 3 electrons. So 7 means this electron is not available. It's not available. So 6 minus 1, 2.5 is the bond order. This the bond order is 2 here. Here bond order is 2.5. Bond order also we can calculate. 2.5 for this O2 plus. Higher the bond order, higher will be the stability. So O2 plus is more stable. Then paramagnetic only 1. Number of unpaired electron 1. Kindly follow. Now let me go for the O2 minus. What is the O2 minus? Kindly follow. O2 minus, that is 1 electron extra. 4 plus 4 plus 1, 9 electron. So 6 here and 7. This is 8. Kindly follow. So this is now 9 electron. 6 plus 1, that is 4 plus 4, 8 plus 1 extra. This is O2 minus configuration. So O2 minus means what is the bond order? Kindly follow. 6 minus 3 by 2. 3 by 2, 1.5. Bond order is 1.5. Unpaired electron 1, paramagnetic. Suppose if it is O2 minus, so this is one more electron here. So in that case, 6 minus 4, that is here answer is, bond order is, 4 means it is only 1 is the bond order. 2 by 2. Bond order, diamagnetic. Diamagnetic. Please follow. For oxygen, I have explained very easily for O2, O2 plus, O2 minus, O2 2 minus. The same way fluorine also you can write F, F minus, F plus, F2 minus, like that you can. So, this is the most important information, my dear students. So, thank you, my dear students. Dear students, kindly click when you are viewing the video in YouTube channel. My channel name is the NEET Chemistry by Dr. R. Gunasekaran. NEET Chemistry by Dr. R. Gunasekaran. Daily I am putting one unit in the YouTube. For NEET entrance examination coaching, those who are waiting, +1, +2 and +2 completed students are waiting. And if you are interested, kindly join Vetri.s, the site we are running the Vetri.s site, and view for the last 20 years, view our achievements for 20 years. Thus, our site Vetri.s has 50 to 60 recorded lessons, and the lesson you can stop and write the notes also. And 200 tests, that is 50 unit tests in each subject, totally 200 tests. The questions are taken from All India IIT examinations, AIMS, AIPMT, MSET Andhra, Delhi, etc. For the last 1975 to 2015, it is taken. So only from these question papers are asked in this. So what is the advantage is every year minimum 75-80 same questions are repeated in the NEET examination of Government of India, conducted by Government of India. So the most important feature of our Vetri.s, we have a review. What is review? After attending the test, if you click to view the solutions, in all other online coaching in India, only they will give 2 lines or 3 lines as answer for the question. But we are giving a video recording solutions, minimum 10 to 15 minutes it will run. So we will give all diagram, all the theoretical concept, the definition, everything. By giving that, we are proving the questions, answers. So this will be more useful to you than any other online coaching in India. And another important thing, we are charging only 10,000, very, very low rate when compared to others, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs. This is very much useful for poor student. For 1 year, for 4 subjects, 10,000 rupees per year. So if you want to get the connection, view the Vetri.s, pay 10,000 rupees in the name of Santi, Indian Bank, account number 7127194771, IFSC code IDIB 000P134. For any of the informations, you contact myself. I am Dr. R. Gunasekaran, Professor of Chemistry as well as owner of this site and Institute Vetri Coaching Center, running for the last 20 years. 9894176425. Let me repeat. 9894176425. Thank you. We will see you tomorrow.